Well, Carmen, I think we have everyone admitted.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and we will get started. Um, I did want to let you know that we are going to be recording this session. And so if you do not want to be your image recorded, just please make sure that you turn off your camera or cover your camera, however works best for you. Um, all right. Well, today, today we're going to be talking about connection, creating deep connections through check-ins. And this is, oh gosh, anything that deals with connection and gathering with people is probably one of my favorite things to talk about and to share about and to learn. At ESSDACK, when we talk about resilience, the definition that we use is I see you, I hear you, and I am with you. And for us, that definition just really guides us. We know that resilience is the science of hope. And we know that if we're able to see and hear and be with people, we know that we're all in this together, and that we can be there to help and support others. And so we want to start right off the bat with a connecting activity. Um, and one of the strategies, which is a great one to use for a check-in at any time, and this is with students, with patients, with your own children, is something called mad, sad, glad, or afraid. And what this is really how are you doing right now? Are you mad, sad, glad, or afraid? And so I'm going to model it, and then we're going to use the awesome Zoom breakout rooms to have us in some smaller groups to be able to connect for just a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and model this. So for right now, at this moment, I am glad. We have been working fast and furious on this conference over the last couple of weeks, and I'm just so glad that you're here and that we get to talk about connection and about trauma-informed practices this afternoon. I have to say, at around 12:45, I was a little nervous because we were just getting ready, waiting for things to get started. I don't feel really nervous right now or afraid. I just feel like let's just do this and let's learn from each other. So for me, I'm just feeling just very glad right now. So when we break you up into some breakout rooms, Chris is going to work his magic, and you're going to get a pop-up on your screen that asks if you'll accept that going into breakout room 1 or 2 or 3 or however. And all else you're going to do in that session is, in that breakout room, is introduce yourself and then tell, are you mad, glad, sad, or afraid? And if you want to add anything to that, please feel free to do that. All right, Chris. All right, I think we'll go ahead and keep going. All right, so one of the things when we're talking about connecting deep with people, a piece that we have to think about is empathetic and active listening. And when we think about this idea of empathetic listening, we really are focusing in on compassion and connection, and most importantly, being present. And we know that if we're practicing this type of listening, it really allows us as the listener to remain non-judgmental and really be able to help encourage the speaker, whoever is speaking, our own child, a student, a patient that we might have, to be able to remain open and honest throughout conversations. So there's a few strategies to think about. And strategy 1 is listen with your eyes, your heart, and your ears. And when we think about that, we know that body language tells a lot. And especially with all of us on Zoom right now, we are seeing a lot of faces, and we can see the expressions, particularly in the eyes, very clearly. And so one thing that we want to really think about is just as a listener to really pay attention to the tone and to the body language of whoever is speaking. And some questions that we can ask ourselves is, what is the speaker's posture? What is the look in the speaker's eyes? And I really feel like right now with this technology, we can see a lot with that. How loudly or softly is the speaker speaking? And maybe what words are they emphasizing? So that strategy number one really is just really listening in, looking at how the speaker is talking. And then if we think about strategy two, just standing in their shoes. Um, for example, right now we are all experiencing this pandemic, but we're all experiencing it differently. And so we never want to make any assumptions that we know how whoever we're listening to is experiencing the same way that we are. And so some things that we can ask is, what is that like for you? Or how did that feel when? What did you enjoy about? What has been the hardest part of? And so the idea of just really honing in and figuring out how can we really be in their shoes to be able to hear what they're saying through their perspective. That third strategy is that practicing mirroring. And when we're practicing mirroring, what we're doing is repeating the words that the person is telling us in a calm and caring tone. And that really just assures for that person that we're really seeking to understand instead of judging or giving advice. And some phrases that you might use are, do I understand that you feel? What you're saying is, what I hear you saying is, and I can see that you're feeling. Strategy 4 is probably my favorite, the idea of releasing judgment and embracing curiosity. This is one that I have really worked hard on over this last year in particular. And this strategy really requires us to be present, present in the moment, present in the conversation. We're not sharing our story at this moment. We're truly listening, and we're trying to ask questions that can help us learn more about the person that we're listening to. So what can we ask to learn more about them or from them? What questions could you ask to go deeper into knowing that person? And we always want to make sure that we're asking some open-ended type of questions so that we're not just getting yes, no type answers. So we're going to watch, hopefully, if it works, a short video clip. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about how these strategies are played out in the video. And as the video is playing, if you just flood that chat box with where you see these strategies in place. So again, listen with your eyes and heart and ears, stand in their shoes, practice mirroring, release judgment, embrace curiosity. Now, if the video does work, which fingers crossed, right? We're going to, you might see both sides of it, where somebody is using the strategy and maybe somebody isn't using the strategy.
No! Finally, can't be done with me.
Shoot. Whoops. Sorry about that. That was my fault.
No! Finally, can't be done with me.
Hey, it's gonna be okay. We can fix this. We just need to get back to headquarters. Which way to the train station?
I had a whole trip planned for us.
Hey, who's ticklish, huh? Here comes the tickle monster. Hey, Bing Bong, look at this. Oh, here's a fun game. You point to the train station and we all go there. Won't that be fun? Come on, let's go to the train station.
I'm sorry they took your rocket. They took something that you loved. It's gone forever.
Sadness. Don't make him feel worse.
Sorry.
It's all I had left of Riley.
I bet you and Riley had great adventures.
Oh, they were wonderful. Once we flew back in time. We had breakfast twice that day.
Sadness!
It sounds amazing. I bet Riley liked it.
Oh, she did. We were best friends.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm okay now. Come on. The train station is this way.
All right. So we can see lots of examples of those strategies in play and also not in play. And I think a lot of times we play both of those roles depending on the situation. But I just thought this was just such a perfect clip to showcase the idea of empathetic and active listening. All right. So what we want to do now is we're going to head back in, we're going to go into a breakout room again. And what we want to do is just talk for just a couple of minutes. Honestly, we're not going to have very much time, but what strategy comes easiest to you? And you might want to take a picture of this screen, of this shot, so that you have it in the breakout room. So what strategy comes easiest to you? And which one is the hardest? And maybe what do you need to do to be more present in conversations? If we thought about like what sadness showed us in that, is that sadness was just right there with him in his moment, and just really focusing in on what was happening right now. Whereas joy was really just trying to, let's move fast, let's go, let's keep going, and just trying to make him feel better. So what do we need to do to be more present in conversations? All right, Chris, if you could take us to breakout rooms for a few minutes. All right. So another piece to connecting deeply, I think especially at a time that we're in right now, is really thinking about gratitude. And we know there's been just some tremendous research done in the last several years just about how gratitude really changes the molecular structure of the brain. When you receive the presentation, there's going to be a link to a really phenomenal article that was done about gratitude. And you can see here that, scientists have really discovered how gratitude can change your brain, and how feeling gratitude can also be a great tool for overcoming depression and anxiety. And I love this sentence here. Furthermore, scientists have discovered that the heart sends signals to the brain. And so a really easy strategy for checking in and for deep connection is just, what are you grateful for right now? And so we'd love for you to flood the chat box with what are you grateful for right now? Health, yeah. Still being employed, it's beautiful. Zoom, yes. The beautiful weather. Oh my goodness, yesterday in McPherson, it was just glorious. Rebecca, I love that. Health, time with kids, grateful for family, time with family, fresh, being able to be outside, technology. My 7-year-old who is currently covered in slime. I love it. Being able to see students in Zoom meetings. Yeah, just taking a few minutes to just do that. I taught elementary for many, many years, and my students all kept gratitude journals that they would just write in either at the beginning of the day or the end of the day, depending on our schedules. And it was such a powerful experience to be able to have them write those, and then for at times when they would share in class meetings. My sister does this with her family. You know, they have a gratitude kind of jar where they write things down in, and then they share those around the dinner table. Time with family. Yeah, lots of that. So one of the things that we, you know, when we think about connections, when I looked up the actual definition of being connected or connected, it's that we're joined or linked together. And if there was ever a time that we want to be joined or linked together, it's right now. Even though it looks differently, how we're joined and linked, because we physically can't be together. There's such power in that. My hope is that you have those people that you can connect in with, that you can share with, that you can listen to, you can use that empathetic listening with, but that you also have people on the other end that can be those empathetic listeners for you. So let's just take a moment, and this is another really great idea for a check-in or a checkout, is just to be able to take a moment. Let's use this, this is from headline.com, just their breathing tools, the box breathing. So let's go ahead and breathe in and hold and breathe out. Breathe. Yep, just do it another time. Yeah, wonderful. So friends, I just want you to know that we'd love for you to check out, if you'd like more information about things that the ESSDACK Resilience team is working on, we do have our website. It's at resilience-coaching.essdac.org, or we do have a Facebook group, and it's called Equipping Resilience Teachers, and you can connect with us there. And then we are going to head back to the main conference session, to the main room, and Chris is going to drop that link in the chat for you so it's easy for you. So you'll leave this session and you will head back to the next one. So I appreciate you guys, and I hope that we just you have the opportunity just to practice some tremendous empathetic listening and connecting with people. Have a beautiful day.